Welcome to the Create a Life You Love podcast, the go-to podcast for people who are called to make a positive impact through the power of coaching. You'll hear encouraging stories from coaches sharing their journeys and their lessons learned along the way, tips from top experts who help coaches thrive in their life and their business, and so much more. So if you're ready to create a business and a life of impact that you love, let's get started. Hello, and welcome to today's very special episode of the Create a Life You Love podcast. I am one of your hosts. I'm an author, a speaker, a transformation neurocoach, and a certified life purpose coach. I am normally accompanied by my amazing co-host, Gwen White. She is a quantum human design specialist and a certified virtual coach. Together, Gwen and I are on a mission to dramatically transform and create community in the coaching industry by supporting you in saying no to all the complicated cookie cutter strategies that just lead to burnout, and instead say yes to simplification with a focus on alignment, service, and impact. With our combined experience and our areas of expertise, we are here to help you create aligned momentum in your business and your life. Quick shout out to our sponsor, the Create a Life You Love membership. It's an active community of passionate, purpose-driven coaches who are up-leveling in the most powerful ways to increase their knowledge, momentum, and impact. For more information and to apply, check out createalifeyoulovecoaching.com/membership today. And that link and any other links we mention will be available in the show notes. So don't you worry, just sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode that I'm very excited about. This is the first of its kind. It's a vision that I've had for a while. I have mentioned multiple times that, part of my 9-to-5 job, I'm still in the special education realm, but at this point I'm hired by the state and I am a state coach and trainer. And one of the things I do is I get to train instructional coaches, and I absolutely love it. This has become like a passion and calling of mine. It's really helped me develop so many amazing skills, and I want to bring that into the business. And I'm working on a certification program that'll be rolled out at some point. And so I've been asking for brave volunteers to allow me the opportunity to coach them and have it be recorded. And then we can use it in episodes like this and in training materials as I begin training and certifying coaches. So I'm very excited to see where these episodes go, and I would love your feedback, and I'd love to know if it's helpful, what else might make it more meaningful and impactful for you. So you are about to listen in on a coaching conversation that I recently had with Julia Trehan. She is located in the UK, and she is an amazing eating disorder recovery coach. I know you're just going to fall in love with her passion and her purpose. It's truly beautiful, the work that she's doing. And I was just so honored to connect with her. And she will be a traditional per se podcast guest very soon, where she can come and share all of her knowledge and wisdom. In the show notes, I'm going to go ahead and link ways for you to connect with her so you can reach out to her and start following her on Instagram and cheering along her journey. Something I really want to highlight in this conversation is the difference between coaching and consulting. When you're a coach, when your intent is to coach, you are the outside perspective who can see the bigger picture, and see things that the person you're coaching, they're just in their own head, right? They're kind of in their own way. They're not seeing clearly. And so your job is to help them see clearly, help them bring out their own thoughts, their own expertise, their own knowledge. And really, you're coming in like, okay, they have the answers. I'm here to help them uncover it through questioning, through listening, through repeating some of their words back to them. It's very powerful to hear your own words repeated back to you, because when you just say it, you take it for granted. Like, yep, that's true. But then when someone says back to you, like, so blah, 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 and you're like, no, wait a minute. No, that's not right. And so it just activates different parts of your brain. But so Coaching, really the lens that you want to be going through is, I'm here to help you uncover your brilliance, right? I'm here to help you connect with what is already in you. Consulting is when you have some knowledge and some information, maybe some tips, some strategies that this person needs. And so you are consulting with them, you are teaching them whatever information it is, whatever your area of specialty is. Oftentimes, coaching and consulting kind of goes, it's kind of hard, right? Because it is kind of a dance. And so, what's important to keep in mind is coaching is where we see the magic happen. Coaching is where research shows us implementation truly happens. However, if they're missing pieces of content and information and knowledge, sometimes you need to provide that. So there may be times, like in this conversation, at one point I say, I'm going to put on my consulting hat for a minute because Julia was missing some key pieces of information. I needed to share with her some knowledge so that then I could put back on my coaching hat and help guide her through her own thinking and find her own aligned process of how to take the information I've shared with her and make it work for her. There's power in both coaching and consulting. Neither one is good or bad, right or wrong. You kind of need both of them many times, but you want to keep in mind that change, behavior change, thought change, those things, the implementation, the taking action, those things come from coaching, not consulting. So you want to stay in that coaching stance as much as possible and be very conscientious of when and why you move into consulting and then get back to coaching as soon as possible. And I'm talking about this in a coaching conversation, right? Obviously, if you are giving a workshop or webinar, like you are the person with the information, you are giving the information. Your intention right then is training and teaching, not coaching, right? Towards the end, you might throw in some coaching, but just really always be very aware of your intention for the conversation. Okay, so I just wanted to give you some of that background because that is something that happened in this conversation that I wanted you to pay attention to and listen to, because consciously I switched in and out a few times, and then towards the end, I actually said, I'm going to take off my coaching hat and put on my consulting hat. And so I wanted to give you some background as to why that was. And you don't always have to say that, but I knew the purpose of this conversation and I wanted to make that a point. But you, as the coach, want to be very aware and intentional of what hat you are wearing at what time and why. I will do some light editing just for the purposes of this conversation. So Julia and I had some nice discussions prior to where the episode is going to start. You always want to make sure that you kind of identify the purpose and the layout of your coaching conversation. People coming in, especially if this is their first time connecting with you, they don't know what to expect. So go ahead and just lay it out, like we're going to be together for 30 minutes or like whatever. Explain the purpose of why you're there. Give them any information that they might need just so they can not be worried about that and can be focused on receiving your coaching and being in that space. You also want to build rapport, help them feel comfortable, and start with some, some gentle, where are you from type of things, depending on your relationship with the person, obviously, but always start with those things like identifying the purpose and building rapport. So you don't get to necessarily see that piece during this episode, but as you are coaching, make sure you always are doing those things and try to have some type of consistent routine. If it's going to be a ongoing client, like if you always start your session with a mindfulness practice or a grounding activity, like just always be very consistent. So they know when they open that Zoom link, they know what they're getting and they're just ready to focus on being coached and not worried about what's going to happen or anything like that. All right. Enjoy. But go ahead and tell me about your business and what would be most helpful to work on during our time together today.
Okay, cool. So I'm a fairly new coach. It's something that I've been drawn to. I almost don't feel I have a choice, to be honest. I have to help people to recover from their eating disorders. I just feel not particularly confident in generating new clients and how to draw them in, really, just to like from the initial inquiry and bring them in. And what the actual coaching, I'm very confident with. The clients that I'm working with currently are doing phenomenally well, and I'm super proud of them and super happy. It's just that those initial bits, excuse the sounds of the dogs going mad.
It's okay. Yeah. So talk to me about how you got your current clients.
Through my coach.
Okay. And what did that look like?
She had inquiries for people that she didn't have capacity for, and introduced them to me. And because I'm fairly new, I'm not going in at a high ticket at the moment.
Yeah. So talk to me about your offer.
It's a 12-week package of weekly hour Zoom calls and 24/7 WhatsApp support, which is really where the magic happens, because it's like having a cheerleader in your pocket.
Yeah. And I love your leader in the pocket. Like you're going to want to use that in the marketing and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So at the moment, I'm hoping, do you want my pricing or?
Sure. Do you have different packages, or do you have like just kind
of the
of
moment I just have the one-to-one. I'm hoping to move into group coaching a bit further down the line. But at the moment I really want to nail one-to-one and get that really flowing smoothly. And I think that's what lights me up.
Yes. Love it. So what are you currently doing to attract clients?
I've recently started my own podcast. And Instagram mainly, really.
Great. And how is the traction going on those platforms?
I've just taken somebody on, a social media marketing person, to help me, because I don't enjoy that side of it. I don't understand the algorithms and things, and that's not where my energy is best served. So at the moment, I'm getting an okay amount of people looking and stuff, but I think it could be so much better. And so she's starting on Tuesday, I believe.
Excellent. That's great that you recognize that that's not where your energy needs to be spent. So awesome.
Yeah.
And she'll have some specific Instagram strategies, I'm sure, to help you. So right now, if I'm on your Instagram and I like one of your posts, or on your website, or I hear your podcast, what's your call to action?
Like, if this has resonated with you and you want to discuss more with me, please book a discovery call.
Excellent. And are you getting very many discovery calls? Not yet. Okay, that's fine.
Not yet. It takes time.
It does take time. As you've been learning and on this kind of personal and professional growth journey, what have been the things that got you to book a call with somebody that like lit you up, that resonated with you? Podcast. And what about the podcast made you want to connect with them?
Just someone being really real and authentic and showing their vulnerabilities, and somebody with lived experience, but just real, really, really real. and not like, oh, I'm amazing, I'm going to be able to do this for you, and all that. Somebody that understands the struggle and the reality of everything.
Yeah. So you would listen to a podcast, and then at the end, they would have a call to action to book a call with them.
Well, yes, and then I did some Instagram stalking and website stalking and everything first before I did book a call.
And what was it about? What did you find in your research mode that pushed you
Do you
over?
know, bizarrely, so my coach, who I found through a podcast, she her website and everything was actually all set up for binge eating, which I didn't ever have a problem with. I had anorexia, but it was just some of the stuff she said about on the podcast, like about her relationship with her mum and stuff, that really, really resonated with me, and just the way she was and how kind and loving she seemed. So, although her website wasn't in line with what I wanted, I still went ahead and booked a call with her because she just sounded like the right person. And she was absolutely incredible.
Amazing. Wonderful. And people are going to be attracted to you too for your genuineness and authenticity. Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah. When did you start the podcast?
2 weeks ago. So I've done 2 episodes so far.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And then obviously we got connected because of kind of like a podcast swap. So you're also working on getting onto other podcasts to expand your reach.
Yes.
Yes. Good. Do you have any simple kind of like lead magnet, like just a little PDF download or something like that? No. Just trying to think. Sometimes, especially if someone's newer, like the more you get in the coaching space, the more you're like, oh, this is normal. But in your niche, with the eating disorders, they may not really be as comfortable with getting on Zoom with a person, and like that might feel intimidating. So you might want to have, yes, offer the book a call, but then also have something that they would get to know, like build that know, like, and trust with you. And so you've got the podcast, but then like if you just had one basic thing, and it could be a PDF, it could be a webinar, it could be like whatever, you want it to be something that is you, not just something like a tactic you've heard of. And then that way they're taking action. It's like mini action without actually getting on the call with you yet. And then at the end of that, then you invite them again into the call. And then that also gets their email. It's a lead magnet. So you're getting their email, and then you can nurture them through your email sequence. And kind of explain about who you are, why you're doing what you do, how you help people, give examples of how your clients are, transforming and doing so great. And so that kind of journey really builds that know, like, and trust with you, so that at some point when they are ready to hire a coach, like they're like, Julia is my coach. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah, a lot of sense.
So, have you heard that term before, like lead magnet?
No, if I'm honest, no, I haven't.
Okay, great. So it's just the kind of online business world lead magnet of, it's something that you're offering for free. It's pretty simple, but in exchange of an email address. And do you currently have a way that you're collecting email addresses?
No, not yet. My husband can definitely sort that out.
Yeah.
He can do that.
There's some free ones out there. Like I think MailChimp has a pretty decent free offer. So you can get a couple hundred people in there before you have to start paying. So you can just kind of learn it and get it set up. There are some minor limitations, like I don't think you can do like a 12 sequence automation, but I think you can do like one level of automation to where you'd like welcome them, hey, thank you, here's your checklist or whatever it is. And then the second one would be a couple days later, kind of telling more about you.
Okay. Yeah,
So
that sounds good.
let's talk about so now that you understand kind of that system, let's find the aligned, what that looks like and aligns for you. So do you already have any type of content or?
Just if you've seen Instagram and my website, yeah, that's what I've got. And my podcast, I haven't got anything else as yet.
And that's okay. So if you're meeting a new client, what is one of like the basic first steps, quick wins that they could get?
And what, like on a discovery call, well, I'd ask them what they wanted from that call, where they would want to feel, how they would want to feel at the end of the call, and what they wanted.
And are you, as you're doing those calls and working with your current clients, are you seeing any patterns of kind of like a first step initial?
Everybody's so different.
Yeah.
But everybody's afraid of gaining weight, terrified of it, and everybody is unworthy in their minds. They're not really, obviously. So yeah, it's just giving people a lot of reassurance, and that I'll believe in them until they can believe in themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah. So when working with a client, do you have a specific like step system or anything, or you just meet them where they're at and work individually? Talk to me about that.
It's all very individual. They have to. I invite them to and strongly encourage them to be in more than daily contact with me on WhatsApp. I like them to. We've got to get them to a minimum food level first, because until you are nourishing your brain, you can't think clearly and actually function and think and have rational thought at all. When your brain's malnourished, you're not capable of rational thought. So it's getting nourishment into them first, through even processes of visualization, giving them coping tools to reduce anxiety, help them learn how to ground themselves, and just massive encouragement and huge celebration of every single win, even if it's really, really, really tiny. And then once they're eating, and alongside the whole bringing up the eating, is finding out the why. Because it's never about the food, so what's behind it? It's normally trauma in their childhood, if I'm honest. Nearly everybody.
So with those exercises that you commonly work with them right away with the visualization, coping tools, grounding activities, celebrating wins, identifying their why, is any of those steps something that you'd be able to kind of like pre-record your voice, like leading them through a visualization?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and like a meditation and stuff. And yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So kind of with this new lens, like what ideas are coming up for you that kind of excite you?
What for the offering? So yeah, something like the visualization, some tips on how to structure your day of eating so that your body feels safe. Um, how to sit there and eat when every part of you is screaming at you not to. Tips on how to get past that because that's hard. How to sit with your feelings and stuff. So yeah, all that definitely could be done. Journaling as well.
Mhm. So looking at those, which one would be most powerful for a new person and like exciting for you to create?
I don't know. They're all exciting. I suppose coping strategies, grounding and stuff is the most important for a client, first of all, just to try and get them out of the fight or flight response so they can actually take the next step.
Absolutely. Um, and we're just starting with one to not get overwhelmed with, I have to go create all this content. Like you can create more lead magnets later, but we just want to get you with some client inflow quickly instead of stuck in the content creation. um, so talk to me about what the coping strategies and grounding techniques, what that freebie might look like.
Um, Certainly breathing, like square breathing,
Mhm.
and 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can, I don't know, or colors or something like that. So some kind of grounding
Yeah.
thing. So it brings them back into the now, and takes the focus off because you've got to concentrate, like looking around for 5 green things, 4 red things, 3 yellow things, or something. So yeah, something like that, definitely.
Perfect. And when you envision that deliverable, is that an audio, a video, a downloadable like PDF?
Video, maybe.
Video. Yeah. Um, and how comfortable are you on video?
Getting better.
Good, good. Um, I love it. So that's not necessarily a barrier that we need to work through. So so thinking about creating a short video that then takes them through those coping strategies and grounding techniques. What do you think the length of that might be?
um if this has helped and you'd like to learn more.
Yeah. Um, yes. So you'll want a call to action after the video for sure. Um, so let's think about, so how do you feel about that idea, that video?
Yeah, that sounds good. I'd also be really happy to do an audio meditation as well because that is so helpful to people.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably better audio because you have your eyes closed when you meditate.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people do.
Right. Um, so what are the steps that you would need to do to go from this idea to making it happen?
Um, I'm being totally honest, completely and utterly. I would make the video and the audio and then give the whole lot to my husband and say, do it.
Yeah. You're using your
Because
resources.
yeah, I'm not interested in tech, and it doesn't. I bought a course and started to do a course, and I didn't get anywhere with it because it was so boring, because it just didn't fire up anything of interest in my brain at all. So I just thought, this is not where my attention should be.
Yeah. Um, and that's amazing that you have that insight and self-awareness, because so many coaches, myself included, we try to learn all the things and we get stuck in learning mode in things that don't align with us, things that don't light us up and pull us away, pull our time and energy away from what we're truly meant to do. So for you to be so early on your journey and already have that insight and awareness and accessing resources is huge, Julia. That's awesome.
Oh, thank you. It's just an effort to stop procrastinating, if I'm honest.
Love it. Love it. So, what type of tech things would you be asking your husband to do to take your audio? How are you going to use it?
I would probably do a short Instagram clip offering it, and I would get my social media person to do that. I would do the video and she could just do whatever it is she's going to do with it. And then say, link in the bio, click on the link, and then that could go through to the website, which hopefully Dave, my husband, will have put a sign up for the free offering, and then they have to sign up with their email address. So then I'm harvesting the email address, and then they can whether to do it as like a date where it's a workshop, or whether to do it just as a thingy. I don't know what's better. Maybe just a video first of all.
Mm-hmm. What feels more aligned?
A video.
Video. Okay. So go with that, like what lights you up and doesn't feel hard. If it starts feeling overwhelming and hard, like take a step back and be like,
Yeah.
how do we simplify this? Yeah. Perfect. And so thinking through all those things, what potential barriers come up in your mind?
Only will people do it, I suppose.
Yeah.
But then why wouldn't they, I suppose? Need to think that way.
Yeah. So how might you talk about it, like weave it into every podcast and every post and everything you do, saying like, oh,
Okay, so I've got, as from today, I have an intro and an outro on my podcast that can be in that.
yeah.
So that it's there for every episode.
And how would you describe it?
I don't know. A free mini session, that's not a session though, is it? I don't know, that's going to need some thinking about.
Yeah. So, gonna take off my coach hat for a second and put on my consultant hat. So when you are deciding the title and how you describe it and everything, really think about your ideal client. Like, what are the words they're using? What are the pain points that this is going to solve? And don't get like fancy. People really want to feel the result. They want to connect with the emotion. So like, what result is this video going to give them?
Just some calm, really, some peace of mind.
Yeah. And you can also look at other people in your niche. Sorry, go ahead. You were going to say something.
And a coping skill.
Coping skills, yeah. Do you think, so where in their journey are your clients typically when they find you?
They have made the decision that they're done with living in an eating disorder, and they just want out, and they want to find a way out. They just
Yeah.
Generally don't want to wait years for we have the NHS over here, and the waiting list are years for eating disorders. Not that actually any of my clients are from the UK, but still.
Yeah. So I'm just wondering if where they're at in their journey, if coping skills is the vocabulary that they would use, like how might they describe that?
Maybe strategies for managing anxiety.
Yeah. Love it. But so as you're working on the title and how you're going to present it, think about those things. Think about what's going to resonate with my ideal client, where they're at in their journey. Because you are further ahead. You've been in the coaching space now for a minute. And so our vocabulary tends to get, like I'm like, oh, landing page, lead magnet. And those were new words to you. So
Yes.
I've got to slow it down, because then, the further along you get, the more you're like, that's just common knowledge, when it's not. Those aren't words that everybody uses. And so think about that when you're making your marketing material for to attract your ideal clients.
Yeah.
And then people really want the result. So one common thing would be like, oh, I've got, a 10-step program, and it's got 5 modules and 6 videos and 10 downloadables. And we start listing like what they're going to get. But really they don't care. What they want is, working with me, we're going to help you feel this way, so you're going to think about what's the pain they're trying to avoid, and what is it that they're going towards, what do they want, and focus on those things. Because yes, it's really nice that you have the weekly Zoom and the 24/7 WhatsApp, and that's simple enough. You can easily throw that in there, but really think about like, what are they getting through that support with you?
Yeah, freedom.
Freedom. And you said cheerleader in your pocket. That was cute.
Yeah. Learning how to love and accept themselves.
Yeah.
Learning how to quieten the inner bitch.
I love that. Yes. Eventually that might be a lead magnet that you want to do. Like if you had a 5 ways to quiet your inner bitch or something, and it was just a simple PDF that you made in Canva, and they had to give you your email address to get it.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I'd click on that. And I'm not with an eating disorder, but we all have that inner bitch.
You can be tamed.
Yes, I love it. Okay, so wrapping up a little bit, what are your action items?
Okay, so create this video and a meditation as well. Advertise it on social media to get people to click to sign up for it. Get my husband to put it on the website, and however that works, I don't know.
That's okay.
And make sure it's in the intro and outro for the podcasts.
Perfect. And then however that's delivered, like it doesn't necessarily have to be part of the video or meditation unless that feels aligned for you, but somewhere like where they're getting it, like have that next call to action of book a call with me.
I could also set up a Facebook group and get them to join the free group.
Absolutely. And provide value in there and promote your podcast in there. And
yeah. And people can ask for advice in there, and I can do a little bit of little mini coaching.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can do that through comments, or you could have like a, the first Tuesday of the month, I'll be live at this time and come on for a group coaching or for tip of the week or whatever feels aligned. Like as you get more comfortable with it and you're building engagement, you'll get ideas. And really you want to go towards the things that sound exciting, the things that you're like, oh my gosh, I would love to do that. Not the things like, oh, I saw so-and-so do that, I think that might work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the Facebook group would be good. I'd quite like that, I think. So that could be part of the lead magnet. See, I'm getting the lingo now.
Yay. So the lead magnet is typically at the top of what we call your funnel. And so it's like the easy, quick click thing, but then, and so like maybe a lot of people, 10 people click on that. And then of those, 6 people go into your Facebook group, and then 4 people book a call with you and 2 people hire you as their client.
Yeah.
But it kind of leads that know, like, and trust, so that it does generate clients, because we don't typically spend money, especially on more expensive things. And especially when we're dealing with feeling like we're unworthy to spend money on ourselves too. And so that's a hard hurdle to come over. So they really need to build that trust in you that Julia knows what I'm feeling. Julia is the person that's going to help me with this. Yeah.
Awesome. That sounds great. So helpful.
Good. So how are you feeling now? Where are you at in your thought process?
Yeah, I want to get on and do it. Quite inspired. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Wasn't Julia delightful? Go connect with her. She's just an amazing, super fun place on her coaching journey, and everyone go support her and cheer her on and watch her just fly. She's going to make a huge impact in this world. It's so beautiful. So I'd love to hear your feedback on the episode. Was it helpful? What else might be helpful in the future with similar type of episodes? I'd love to hear about your takeaways from today. Please share this episode with someone that you think would benefit from it. Leaving a podcast review at ratethispodcast.com/CALYL for Create a Life You Love is always appreciated. I will get that link in the show notes. And if our approach is resonating with you and you too want to be part of the Create a Life You Love movement, and you want to help create community and dramatically transform the coaching industry, Gwen and I are currently accepting applications for the Create a Life You Love membership. Just head to createalifeyoulovecoaching.com/membership, and we will have that link in the show notes as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you all for your feedback and continued support. Enjoy the journey. Thank you for listening to the Create a Life You Love podcast. We would love to hear from you about your biggest takeaways. Share them with us on Facebook or Instagram at Create a Life You Love Coaching. If you love this episode, be sure to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It's very much appreciated. If you're ready to build aligned and sustainable momentum without overwhelm and burnout, we invite you to apply for the Create a Life You Love membership on our website, createalifeyoulovecoaching.com/membership. That's it for now. Enjoy the journey.